You stumbled upon an opportunity.
Tomorrow, Disney releases the live-action remake of its 1992 animated classic, Aladdin. But 2 weeks ago, The Asylum, a small, low-budget studio, released its own feature film, Adventures of Aladdin. That's not a coincidence. That's the Asylum's business model.
Today, Marquand will be leading the Pledge of Allegiance, if we could all stand.
I guess the next clusterfuck is Aladdin.
You mean the most important film in our slate?
The Asylum is a film and television production and distribution company. Our films tend to be
We are being hunted by six-headed dogs.
shitty, mostly. You know, not to be taken too seriously.
Let's go show them what it means to be a New Yorker.
A lot of people talk about wanting to watch quality cinema, but we find that most people, ourselves included, usually just want to come home from a hard day of work. You watch it, you have a good time, you never have to think about it again. The technical term in the entertainment industry is actually called a drafting title. I mean, if you go into your pharmacy, you'll see the brand name, decongestant, and you'll see the store's version, which looks exactly like it, but it just calls it decongestant. Well, that's a mockbuster. So if a movie is coming out about giant transforming robots, well, we make a movie about giant transforming robots that's called Transmorphers.
Shut it down. Shut it all down.
I think the audience understands that you're not buying the same thing. You're just buying a slightly shittier thing.
It's a trap. Repeat, it's a trap.
All right, let's start. Fade in. Somewhere in the Middle East, day, miles of sand dunes, camel caravans cross the desert. In the distance, palatial domes and minarets grow larger as we arrive at the outer city walls of Baghdad. I've worked on visual effects and major movies, but I've never directed a feature film before. I happened to notice on the schedule that they had Aladdin on the feature films upcoming, and it was obviously a mockbuster of the Disney Aladdin. And Tammy and I looked at each other and said, we should do that.
We wrote it over Christmas break in a week, and part of it we wrote in the car while we were driving up to my parents' house for Christmas.
Her Most Royal Highness Shahzadi is named Sultana.
He slams his fist onto the brass lamp depicted on the scroll.
If you will not come to me, then I must brave the cave.
The lawsuits are down to 1 or 2 a day at this point. But early in the days, we'd receive a lot of very angry letters.
This is the dress that she meets Aladdin in the garden in.
Okay.
You know, interestingly enough, I think the one studio that's never tried to sue us is Disney.
Bring me the lamp.
Although Disney has a reputation for being litigious, I think they probably don't want to embarrass themselves by suing little old Asylum. I like to think that some of the major studios would take it as a badge of honor that we've chosen to mockbust one of their films.
He made that crystal, and we have 3 of them in case we break it, because we will. Today was Gentlemen Start Your Engine Day. This was our first actual production meeting with all the department heads. We went on a location scout. Oh my God, this is real.
Okay, so let's look at the mine shaft to see if you can use it for anything.
Okay. We have 7 days to make this movie, and it's, you know, a feature-length film. So at the end of the day, if it's on time and in focus, it's going in the show. It's cold. Crew's excited, actors are excited. We're about to pull the trigger on day 1. Welcome to the Jackass Club.
All right, scene 21, here we go.
Aladdin comes running out with the lamp.
I'm not an adherent to the auteur theory that the director is an author of the film, because I think it's a collaborative medium and I think that everyone contributes to it. But one thing that I believe is true and is not going to make a lot of people happy is that Asylum movies are really director-proof, because the concept is the star.
Action. That's it.
You know, if we have a really good director, yeah, the films are moderately better. But if we have a really bad director, they're not necessarily that worse.
Thank God.
No!
It's all going by so fast, and I'm just trying to keep up. You know, it's a lot of fun, but you gotta stay on top of every single little thing.
And win. I think if there's a good outcome for the movie or a best outcome, that it hits and people say, yeah, Asylum made an Aladdin ripoff, yo, what a surprise. And then they say, but you know what? We watched it and it was kind of smart and kind of fun, and I hate to say it, I liked it better than the Disney one. That'll never happen, but that's my dream.
As you command, Master.
I think all in, it's probably be about 200, 250,000. To give you an example, the catering budgets on most studio films are probably more than the entire budget for Aladdin.
Earthquake.
The best outlook for Aladdin is that we'll get a television sale and that maybe we'll get in one of those red boxes. One thing that's very interesting about Mockbusters is our Mockbusters perform about as well as the studio counterparts perform on a much smaller scale. If a big studio film bombs, our Mockbuster tends to bomb as well. And, likewise, if it does well, ours does well. And so, we're sort of like the canary in the coal mine, for whether or not a studio film is going to be a success.
Uncut. You want to do another one? Let's do another one.